Hey everyone, Matt here. This is an update on the $2,000 stimulus checks now that we have a counteroffer out of Mitch McConnell and we have the $2,000 stimulus check amendment that was passed through the House recently. I'm going to be discussing how do they compare, what are their differences, and what are their similarities. Along with that, I'm going to briefly discuss the stimulus bill that was signed by President Trump and how that compares to the amendment and the counteroffer. We have a lot of moving parts right now. I know it's a very confusing time. What's different is all of these different bills and packages and proposals all have different elements. So let's get into it. I'll break it all down in this video and hopefully make it very easy to understand so we can make it through this time. I get it. It's confusing, but don't worry. I'll be here for you. I will explain all of it in this video. So let's jump right into it. But hey, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Matt. Thank you so much for checking me out. And if you're returning, welcome back. I really do appreciate your continued support. If you haven't done so, right below the video, there's a button that says subscribe. If you can, hit that button. Thank you so much for your support. Now that you're subscribed, we can get into the content. So first, number one, let's do one at a time here to make it easy to understand. On Sunday night, President Trump signed the stimulus bill that allows for the $600 stimulus checks to go into action, go into law. So now that is a law now. That bill is now law. As many of you have been seeing, we're starting to get these $600 stimulus checks deposited into our accounts. That's great, right? A lot of you are seeing it. If you haven't seen it yet, just hang tight. You'll probably be getting it soon. I know it's hard to be patient right now, but it should be coming soon. So that is coming to us, the $600 stimulus checks. Remember, President Trump demanded he wants $2,000 stimulus checks. So as a result, they wrote up an amendment, a very short amendment, basically just saying we're going to be amending the stimulus checks in the stimulus bill from $600 to $2,000. Now that amendment was brought to the House. And it was passed through the House. Now that bill, let's talk about it for just a second here. The amendment, this is what we're talking about now, is the amendment. The amendment simply says $2,000 for adults, $2,000 for dependents, $2,000 for adult dependents. $2,000 across the board. Everybody gets $2,000. You get $2,000, I get $2,000, everybody gets $2,000, and we're all happy and we sail off into the sunset. So $2,000 across the board. Very simple, very easy to understand, right? So that's what it was basically saying. Now, just to reiterate and just to clarify, it is not saying $2,000 plus the $600. It's simply saying we're just amending the $600 to $2,000. So if you've already received the $600, it does not mean you would get the $600 plus $2,000 on top of that. It would simply mean we're just amending it to $2,000. If you've already received the $600, basically you would be due the additional $1,400 to make you whole at the $2,000 level. I hope that makes sense. So that's what the amendment says. All right, so now we were waiting for Mitch McConnell to respond, right? Well, we got a response out of him actually yesterday, but I wanted to really bring this to you and kind of shake all of this out in this one video and explain how all of these kind of come together. So Mitch McConnell came out and he has a counteroffer, which actually comes as no surprise. We were kind of figuring Mitch McConnell would come out with a counteroffer because it would be highly unlikely that he would just come and say, okay, no problem, we'll just give everybody $2,000. Not really how it works. I mean, in negotiations, there's always going to be a counteroffer, and that's what we got. So Mitch McConnell came out with his counteroffer, and he's saying, sure, we can do $2,000, no problem. We can do $2,000 for adults, but as far as dependents go, we can't really do $2,000. We can keep it at $600. So that's how it compares so far. Okay, so adults, $2,000 on the amendment, $2,000 on Mitch McConnell's counteroffer. Got it. $2,000 there and there. Dependents on the amendment is $2,000. On Mitch McConnell's counteroffer, dependents $600. So he lowers it there to $600 from $2,000. Now here's the other one. Adult dependents. In the amendment that was passed by the House, $2,000 for adult dependents. In Mitch McConnell's counteroffer, $0. Adult dependents in Mitch McConnell's counteroffer, $0. That's how it differs. But there's more. Just wait. If you wait for another minute, if you make one easy payment today, you can get two for the price of one. For one easy payment, you can get two, or whatever they say in those commercials. Tried to be funny, but sorry, that probably wasn't funny at all. But anyway, all right, so there's more. There's actually more in his counteroffer. He said he wants to completely repeal Section 230. I've talked about this a little bit in my last few videos. That is the big tech liability protections. So he wants to completely repeal Section 230. In addition to that, he wants to set up an advisory committee to oversee or to investigate the 2020 elections. And he's saying these are the three demands that President Trump has come out and requested. He wants $2,000 stimulus checks, repeal of Section 230, and investigate the 2020 elections. So that's what Mitch McConnell is saying in his counteroffer. The problem with this is that there's no way Democrats are going to repeal Section 230. It's not happening. So there's just no way it's going to happen. As far as the investigation of the election, that's what it is. It's just whatever. It's probably not going to be a massive sticking point with Democrats. However, Section 230 is. That's going to be a massive sticking point. But this is the counteroffer that Mitch McConnell is coming back with to counteroffer the amendment that was passed through the House. So once again, it's going to be a waiting game, and it's going to be further negotiations between Mitch McConnell in the Senate and Democrats in the Senate and the House, and we're going to go back and forth, and it's probably going to drag out for several more days, possibly a couple more weeks. We'll have to see. But this is where we stand with this. But as of right now, like I said earlier, we have the $600 locked in, right? Many of us have already received the $600. Just side note, I have not received the stimulus check. Just if you were wondering, I haven't received it yet. So just so you know, I'm not at the front of the list. A lot of people think, oh, you make YouTube videos. You must be at the top of the list to get your stimulus check. Nope, I'm not. So haven't gotten it yet, and a lot of you have, which is awesome. Honestly, I would much rather have you guys get it versus me. Honestly, so many of you want that money and need it right now. I'm so happy to see the comments down below when all of you say, hey, I got a pending deposit on my Direct Express. I have a deposit on my net spend or my bank account. It's pending. All of this stuff. So I'm really happy for you. I'm really excited for you. But now that we have the 600 locked in, we got the $600 in the bank, right? That'll get us through the weekend, maybe. Right? Maybe it'll get us through the end of the week and the weekend. But now we're going for the extra $1,400. Again, we're going to need to exercise patience. Once again, we've exercised patience for the last 9 months. Well, we've been trying to anyway, but we'll need to continue on with this for a little bit longer. We'll have to see what happens with this. Again, there's no such thing as an easy lunch, I think they say. Whatever the saying is, it's something like that. But again, Congress is making this far more difficult than it needs to be. So here we are. This is where we stand with the negotiations. We have the amendment for $2,000 across the board for everybody, and we have Mitch McConnell with his counteroffer. We will have to see what actually happens with this. Mitch McConnell has said he's going to bring this into focus in the Senate, which he has this week. They will be out on Friday because it's a holiday, but they'll be back tomorrow, and they will be back over the weekend. And then the new Congress is sworn in on Sunday. So a lot of stuff coming up. Oh, not to mention the Georgia Senate race is going to be happening on, what is that, Tuesday, the 5th? Yeah, the 5th, Tuesday. So we have a lot of stuff coming up. Once again, it's going to be very busy for the next several weeks, and honestly, it's going to be really busy for the next couple months here. Stimulus talks are not over. We will be talking about stimulus checks, and all kinds of stuff like that for probably several more months to come. There's a lot going on. So either way, I hope this broke it down. I hope this makes it easy to understand now with everything going on. Just to reiterate, $2,000 has not been approved. It is not coming yet. It's still on the table as of right now, but it's not coming yet. We got the 600, and we're waiting on the additional 1,400 to make us whole at the 2,000. So I will keep you posted. I'll watch everything very closely, and as soon as we get information, I will be right back with another video to keep you updated. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much for your continued support. Feel free to share this video with any of your friends, family, social media, or anybody else who cares to listen. Otherwise, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. Have a good night, and I'll catch you again in the morning. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. See you later.